Sign autographs and answer any of your questions. Please don't get personal with any of us so that Nicky just had his grand opening in New York. Tom Comer and myself and Joe Stellato were there, but they'll be here in a few minutes. They'll be glad to sign autographs, answer any questions, and I hope all of you get a chance to meet them. We'll try to bring them around to everybody. It'll last 1 hour sharp, and then there's a...
They come up there at the park lane tomorrow. You can do it or you can't do it.
Can you get a shot right here, please? Debbie, can you get a shot?
Wait a second, come on. I wear mine for it. You're the snake in the group. Come on, Bill, let's go. One more shot.
You're right. You're checking the pool out, right? We're signing.
We're signing?
Yeah, but not...
Directors of the Connecticut Sports Foundation, it's a pleasure to welcome you to tonight's benefit banquet. To this, our inaugural dinner of the Connecticut Sports Foundation. I'd like to take a few moments, if you would bear with me, to mention that something of this magnitude does not happen overnight. When we conceived the idea of the Connecticut Sports Foundation approximately 1 year ago, it took a team. We really can't forget the guy who's really responsible for all of us being here tonight, Johnny Ellis.
Boston last week, and John McNamara said that he was going to kick Billy's butt next year. And I'd like to know Billy's comment about the Red Sox.
Well, I think the Red Sox really helped themselves, John, with the acquisition of Smith from the Cubs. But I don't think that the relief pitcher is any better than Righetti in the bullpen when you're down 6 runs going in 9th inning.
Relate a personal favorite story of some relationship that they had with Casey.
Well, it's not a relationship. We all love Casey, and he loved us. He'd have a meeting in the dressing room, and he would chew us out so bad, the three of us, and that was to impress the older players on the team that we weren't getting away with anything. But then if we were walking out of the meeting, he'd wink at us, but we knew he really liked us. But my favorite Casey story, it's not only Casey, it's a little bit of Yogi, but in 1959, I was pitching in the Yankee Stadium, and they played the national anthem, and I took my 8 warm-up pitches, and the first batter up was Nellie Fox, and Nellie, the first pitch I threw, hit a double over third base. Louis Aparicio got up, and the second pitch I threw, he bunted down third, and I'd thrown 2 pitches, it's first and third. Manny Minoso was the next hitter, and I threw him a hell of a curveball, but it hit him in the kneecap. So I've thrown 3 pitches, and the bases are loaded. And Ted Kluszewski, not many people remember, but Ted Kluszewski played with the White Sox in '59. First pitch I throw to him, a high fastball off the right center field wall. 3-run score, man on second. I've thrown 4 pitches, and we're behind 3-0. Casey comes out to the mound, and Yogi doesn't want to miss anything, so he comes out there. And Casey says to Yogi, does Ford have anything tonight? And Yogi says, how the hell do I know, Casey? I haven't caught a pitch yet.
You hear this talk about legalese, like you can't understand what he's saying. But when he gets you in the office, if he's mad, you know what he's saying, So this one time he gets us all 3 in there and he goes, look, he said, do you guys remember King Tut, or who was that guy? Who was the guy that lived 1,000 years? King somebody. Anyway, he had like 1,000 wives too. And he said, now if you got 1,000 wives, they can't all be with you. They're going to be scattered around town. So he said, he had this guy, he lived to be 1,000 years old, but he said he had this guy, when he wanted a wife that was way across town, he'd send this guy to go get her, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. So this guy had to run over and get her and bring her back. And he said, he said, this king lived to be 1,000 years old, or 100 years old. He said, that other guy? He said, yeah, the guy's running to get him? Yeah. He said, yeah. He said, he died when he's 38. He said, it's not the girls that kills you, it's that running after it. In other words, he was telling us to get home earlier.
Rick and me, glass going to go over Mickey, and the splinter go in my eye. He used to get really mad at me, and so one day, I playing second base, the old man bleeding defense, and I made 2 errors out there. I only made about 8 that year, and so he benches me the next day. And I don't tell you, you just look at the lineup card and you're not in the lineup. So I take my glove, I always sat next to him because I wanted to hear him talk. And I take my glove and I go clear down to the end of the bench. Now you can yell at Casey and he'd yell back at you, but the next day was forgiven. You didn't carry a doghouse around with him. So they're all waiting for the Dutchman to come down and talk to the big-nosed Dago, and we're going to find out what's going on between the 2 of us. And they're waiting for me to yell at him. And here comes Casey in the 7th inning, going to put me out of second base, and I'm ready to yell at him, boy, and I know he's going to say something smart aleck. And he comes down, and here's what came out of his mouth. And I I was popping, actually. He says, is Widow Billy mad at me? Would you take your widow glove and go out to second? Needless to say, I just ran out and didn't say a word, but I was really primed to call him a Dutch son of a gun. That's my word.
I pitched opening day in Detroit, and it was cold, but we just go back a month or so. In spring training, I had made up a concoction. I have small hands, and I couldn't get a grip on the ball in cold weather. So I made this concoction up of, listen to this, baby oil, turpentine, and rosin. And I kept mixing it, and I got this stuff, it was like Elmer's glue before I got through with it. And I said, now how am I going to get this on my fingers and the glove during the game? So I was in the drugstore and I got this band roll-on, the men use underarm deodorant. So I took the ball out and I poured all that stuff out and I put my sticky stuff in there and it worked perfect. I'd rub it on my fingers, on the glove, and I said, this is great. So I put it away. And the only one on the glove that knew it was Mickey because, we were rooming together. So that opening day, now it's opening day, I'm pitching against Frank Larry in Detroit, and it's actually snowing, but it wasn't sticky. It was like 35 degrees, really cold. I said, perfect, I'm going to try my sticky stuff. I go out, and every inning I put it on my fingers, my glove. We win 5-1. Most amazing, I pitched 9 innings without using Louis Arroyo once. Mickey hit a home run. Yogi didn't do nothing. He went 0 for 4, just caught the game. You got to picture our locker in Detroit. This is in Detroit. It's Yogi's here, I'm in the center, and Mickey's here. I don't know it, but Mickey takes the band roll on out of my jacket, and he puts it up in my locker and pushes it way to the right. And in those days, we had about 7 writers from New York and 4 or 5 from Detroit. They're all around our dressing room, around our locker, talking to Mickey about his home run, me pitching the 9 innings, and I don't know it, but Yogi, he hadn't done nothing, like I said, 0 for 4. He went in the shower, he comes back, dries himself, puts all his clothes on except his shirt. And Yogi was very cheap and wouldn't buy, toothpaste or aftershave. And he looks up in my locker and sees the young Don Vito. This is a true story. And he grabs it, and I'm still talking to the writers, and he's rolling on the floor laughing. Yogi's giving us this under the arm. And now he puts his arms down, and Yogi is very hairy. He cannot get his arms down. He had to take all his clothes off, back in the shower. The trainer, Joe Stories, had to get this, Gus Mouth had to get the scissors and cut the hair. To me, that was the funniest joke.